This is Green Hell VR, and in this game, you're probably gonna die. It might be from food poisoning, bleeding out from a wound you get from falling or from a predator, from a spider bite or a scorpion sting, maybe a rattlesnake. You might die from starvation or dehydration.
I need a drink.
And it all can be a bit overwhelming at first. The first time I played, I was overwhelmed, and I ended up not playing the game again for a month. So I decided to make this survival guide to help people who might be getting a bit frustrated or feel a bit lost when first hopping in the game. Before we jump in though, do me a favor and just tell me in the comments which VR headset or headsets you use or which one you plan to get. And of course, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Before you survive in the rainforest, there are going to be some tools that you'll need to make, and for that there are two specific items that in my opinion are the most important to scavenge. The first is a coconut. In fact, throughout the game I suggest grabbing every coconut you can find. The other item is a large rock, which you will immediately break in half to get a flint and 2 stones. You will need the flint to make fire, and you will need the fire to cook meat and water before you eat and drink it. Smashing 2 rocks together makes a stone knife. Pulling the trigger button on both controllers while putting a stick and stone together makes a stone axe. You can reinforce a stone knife or axe by pulling the trigger on both hands and wrapping a rope around it, which you can collect from liana hanging from trees, or by chopping down these trees that have the ivy on them. This will increase the durability of the knife or axe, making it last longer. If you take a long stick and hold the trigger with the hand you're holding the long stick in, you can sharpen the end of the stick with a knife or axe, which will make a weak spear. If you attach a reinforced stone, bone, or obsidian knife to a weak spear, you'll get a stone, bone, or obsidian spear. If you wrap rope around both ends of the weak spear, it'll make a bow. Arrows are made by combining a feather and a small stick. Feathers can be found, or you can kill a macaw for 6 feathers and macaw meat. You can also pick up leaves by cutting down the smaller plants all over the rainforest. These leaves will eventually dry out and will make good tinder for making a fire. You can also get tinder by finding nests or chopping down banana trees that have dry leaves. You can keep tools in your backpack, which you can retrieve by grabbing over your left shoulder. The backpack has a few compartments. The first compartment is your tools. The second is stones, leaves, sticks, feathers, etc. The third is for food and medicine. Each compartment has 3 pages, which you can navigate with these arrows. This button will sort all of your items to the first pages of each compartment. The side pockets on the left are quest items that can't be lost. The side pockets on the right are for tools like knives, axes, spears, and bows. The top pocket on the right is a quick draw item, which you can grab by reaching over your right shoulder. Some people will keep their bow there, while others will keep a spear there. It just depends on your playstyle. When a bow is equipped, you can grab arrows by reaching over your right shoulder. You can have up to 30 arrows equipped. Arrows can be retrieved after they are shot. To use a spear, hold the trigger in your spear hand and then aim with your offhand and throw by letting go of the trigger after making a throwing motion with your spear hand. The coconuts have a tough skin on them. You can cut the skin off with an axe or knife. If the coconut is ripe enough, you can drink water from the coconut by holding it to your mouth after the skin is removed. At this point, you have 2 very useful choices. You can cut the coconut in half and eat the meat of the coconut for valuable carbs and fats, resulting in 2 coconut bowls which you can use to cook water in or make soup or brews in. Or, instead of cutting it in half, you can wrap a rope around the coconut to make a bidon where you can store cooked water, soup, or brew in. If you get stuck out at night, you'll need a torch. A torch is made by simply wrapping rope around the end of the stick. You can light it with a rock and flint, or you can stick the end of it into a campfire. Now let's talk about making a camp. If you want to eat or drink without getting sick, you will need to know how to build a fire. A fire requires 4 sticks, 3 small sticks, and tinder. In order to start the fire, you will need a flint and stone. You can make 2 sticks by striking your axe against a long stick. You can make 2 long sticks by striking your axe against a log. You can make small sticks by striking your axe against a stick. You should never drink water or eat meat that has not been cooked. You can cook water in coconut bowls or pots you find. You can also put herbs in the cooking water bowls or pots to make brews or soups. You cannot cook water in a bidon, but once the water is cooked, you can store it in your bidon to drink later. In order to save your game progress and sleep without getting filthy, you'll need to build some sort of shelter. There are save points you can find in the main campaign, but they are rare, and in survival mode there aren't any save points unless you build them. The easiest shelter to build is the grass hut. To build the grass hut, you'll need 3 long sticks, 1 rope, and 4 palm leaves. Start by placing the first long stick upright in the ground and hammer it in with the back of your axe or a rock. Then repeat this with a second long stick and tie the 2 together with a rope. Then lay your third stick over it and cover it with 4 palm leaves. You'll be able to save your progress here, and you'll be able to sleep here by holding down the sleep option on your watch. Let's talk about the watch. The watch tells you the time, which you'll want to keep an eye on in order to know when to sleep and avoid being caught out in the dark and prepared. You will get hungry and thirsty as you sleep, so make sure you are well fed before you go to sleep. You also have a compass on your watch, which you can use to help orient yourself when navigating the rainforest. If you are playing campaign on King of the Jungle difficulty, you will need to keep track of your coordinates as there is no player indicator on your map. Here you can see your nutrition levels and sanity. You have to maintain your proteins, fats, and carbs, or else you will begin to starve, which will drain your energy until you die. You also have to stay hydrated. The pink circle in the middle is your sanity. If that gets too low, you'll start to get tunnel vision, have audible and visual hallucinations, and can even be physically hurt by hallucinations if your sanity gets low enough. Sanity can be restored by certain foods and by sitting by the fire. Proteins are restored with meat, protein bars, and in a pinch you can eat a mysterious snail if you need to. Fats come from mammal meats, nuts, and coconuts, as well as canned foods. Tapir seems to be the best source of fat. Carbs are found in fruits and some of the plants you find. You also can get hydration from the coconut fruits, ripe coconuts, and obviously from drinking water. Here on your watch you can see your debuffs, which are poison, nausea, fever, insomnia, and stomach parasites. Poison occurs when you are bit or stung by poisonous snakes or insects. Nausea is from eating spoiled, toxic, or uncooked foods. Fever can accompany poison or venom, or food poisoning. Insomnia is from not sleeping enough. Stomach parasites comes from drinking uncooked water or eating while you are dirty. The other debuff you can have is bleeding out from an open wound or leeches. You get open wounds from falling or being attacked by a predator. This can be treated with a molina leaf being wrapped around your wounded arm, which comes from the plant with the yellow flowers. Leeches will drain sanity but can simply be pulled off. Leeches will be acquired by walking around through the foliage or swimming in the water. If you are dirty, you can clean yourself by standing under waterfalls, washing your hands in the water, rain, or swimming.
Disgusting. Ugh.
The best way to remove debuffs is to avoid getting them in the first place. Always listen for spiders, which will sound like this. Rattlesnakes sound like this. Okay guys, let's go over some quick medicines you're going to need. The first one is the water lily flower. Okay, it's going to reduce your nausea by 2. It does lower your sanity by 2. Let me go to the right page here. Okay, so just so you can see. Alright, so the Copahonga here, okay. It's going to reduce stomach parasites by 1. If If you cook it, it reduces stomach parasites by 2 if you cook it into a bowl of water. Alright, so these are the ficus leaves.
Disgusting.
Okay,
Ugh.
so they do reduce nausea as well. They're not really as good as the water lilies, but they're good in a pinch. And here's the tobacco leaf. Okay, it reduces poison. Okay, plantain lily. Reduces poison by 2, okay? So really easy to remember because they're both flowers. Okay, here we go. This reduces stomach parasite you'll find on the top of trees. Alright, this is the Geronima retiarium. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Okay, well, it reduces insanity. If you see this plant, cut it down and grab the cassava bulbs. Don't eat them till you cook them, but when cooked, they'll give you 60 carbs. Another thing I like to do is put a bone in a pot of water and boil it. And it ends up being a pretty potent brew. If you see a carcass, be cautious because it probably means you're in a predator's territory. Well, I think that should be enough information to get you started. If you found this guide helpful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. For the Quest users watching this video, don't forget to check out the Rival app, which is where I drop my 3D content. And I've been dropping a decent amount of 3D videos there. I have left a link in the details and comments where you can get the app right now for free. Thank you guys for watching, and game on.